spawning in the bottom left-hand position of Deadwing as the blue Zerg player. Currently teamless, but with the best avatar in esports. He is SortOf. And his opponent, spawning in the top left position as the red Protoss player representing Carnage Esports. Made a name for himself in the Nations Cup, but has gone on to show some incredible StarCraft here. It is Eiki. Alright, so this should prove to be a pretty intense PVZ. It is a best of 5, remember. It is not a best of 3 anymore. So, potential for a couple more mind games popping out here. As we have the Worker Scout from Eiki instantly spotting his opponent. Very, very nicely done on the first try. And we'll be able to see that no gas has been taken, and it looks like it's going to be a hatch first. So I think he is possibly going to force the pool here. Oh, never mind. Can he get to the worker in time? I don't think he can. There'll be 300 minerals by the time this drone gets to the low ground, so unfortunately not. And as a result, Eiki is just not able to do very much at all. Note, by the way, that a second drone is coming to check if it's going to be a cannon rush, and a pylon has been put down, but this forge has only just started building. Is he going to be carrying on through with the cannon rush? He's thinking about it. The wall off here, it's not that difficult to wall off. We'll see if it ends up happening. 2 drones there. The drones are just trying to block off positions where the cannon can go down. The forge still isn't complete yet, and he's actually allowing the pylon to go up, so this makes him think that it is going to be a cannon rush. A lot of lost mining time here, and the pro's moving away. Is he going to put down a cannon? He's going to try. Oh, great blocking there, but there's cannon number 1. He needs to get the probe out of there. Are we going to see cannon? We are going to see cannon number 2. The probe is dead. Alright. And that cannon doesn't get cancelled as well. This is a great defense here. The second one getting cancelled. I think Eiki knows that this rush is over. And he's going to console himself by getting down his own Nexus substantially later, unfortunately, than his opponent's hatchery. SortOf has lost a lot of mining time, but 150 minerals plus 100 minerals plus 37 minerals on the cancelled cannon means that Eiki is definitely further behind at this point. And I think SortOf knows, of course, the forge has gone down as well, so he can very quickly go up to his 3rd base as well. Wouldn't be surprised if that gets taken very, very soon indeed, because of course there'll be a forge and there'll be a Nexus going down. Got the first couple of links coming out. They will be able to pick off this pylon, just nibble away at it until it disappears. You can see this pylon wearing its party hat here. And that's going to go down very shortly. And look what we have here. Another drone, another day, another game, another hatch for SortOf. So valiant effort from Eiki, unfortunately unable to get anything done this time around in this game. But, you know, the game is long, the map is big, it is on Deadwing. And a lot can happen between now and the end of the game. So he's going to continue playing this out nice and safe. We've got the cannon up, of course, as part of the wall. So he's going to be checking out that Overlord. That Overlord is not going to want to be checking out the cannon. And any early scouts in via the wall are just no longer viable thanks to the presence of that cannon. However, we're just going to be macroing up to our heart's content here as far as SortOf is concerned. No real need to take any gas just yet, as we can see. Just going to be droning up as hard as he possibly can, getting those queens out, getting those lovely injects down on those hatcheries, and just trying to maximize his micro to the fullest extent. We've got a Stargate going down now for Eiki. Now, we've seen him use this to great effect before with Phoenix openings. We haven't seen him open with Oracles yet this tournament. So, are we going to see the Phoenixes once again go up to sort of 4 or 5 Phoenixes and really harass the Queens as much as possible? My money is on yes, but I guess we'll wait and see. He can always opt to switch it up. We have the first gases being taken in the natural expansion now for SortOf. And he's going to be going straight into the Roach Warren as well. He's going up to a healthy number of workers, almost 50 now. I think he'll be 49 in just a second. And we do indeed have the Phoenix popping out here from this Stargate. We're going to be following it up with a robotics facility. So Eiki, he doesn't stop at 1 or 2. He's very happy to continue. And this Overlord, well, he's trying to scout the Stargate. He will scout it now, but I'm pretty sure the presence of a Phoenix firing at him is a much better indicator of what's going. He's trying actually to stop the scout on the robotics facility, and he might be able to do that. It's very, very close, and he will stop that Overlord from scouting anything. There is a second one, though, coming in, and the Phoenixes don't actually spot it. He's moving closer into the main base rather than further away, so these Phoenixes are searching in the wrong direction. Pretty sick little movement there from SortOf, and Eiki does not suspect that this Overlord is here, and as a result, he's actually just a single hex away from seeing that robotics facility as well. So very, very tiny amount of space there. The creep spread is beginning for SortOf now. We've got Glial Reconstitution on the way, Zergling Speed on the way as well, so on the ground he's perfectly safe. In the air, however, the Phoenixes are going to eventually come up with a different story. Got the robotics bay and a couple of additional gateways, going up to 3 more actually popping in. And here's the Overseer. Eiki's going to be really annoyed that he managed to pop in because he sees absolutely everything. And just a very frustrating situation to be in when you've scouted all around with the Phoenixes and you go, hang on a second, how did he manage to get right in? But never mind, he's going to try and do a little bit more damage, picking off a couple of drones here. Needing to be careful not to lose the health on these Phoenixes. He's got another pick-off available. And that Spore Crawler not able to do too much damage. So far, 4 workers killed from Eiki, and he's going to continue with that harassment. He's going up to 5 Phoenixes now. He's got a couple of sentries as well, should he need to wall off and choke some units for any reason here. But there is no attack incoming at the moment. A 4th base is now being taken for SortOf. So he's going up to 4 bases on 10 minutes. Very, very early 4th. A bunch of Lings getting produced now, but we've got Extended Thermal Lance and Colossi beginning to go onto the field. We do have to be at least a little bit careful, but the 3rd base is going to get taken from Eiki. That hasn't been spotted yet. SortOf's going to be reasonably pleased, because taking an early 4th base when your opponent might be 2 base all-inning could be a little bit risky at times. Oh, and in fact, he's thinking about it because this Nexus immediately gets cancelled. The Phoenixes spot the incoming attack and go, yeah, I'm definitely not going to try and take this. He could lift up roaches and kill them off individually if he wanted to. That's exactly what he's going to be doing at this point. 1 roach goes down. Yes, okay, he'll be able to pick off a pylon in the wall, but the Phoenixes can continue. Ooh, nice force fields. And now the Phoenixes go to work, lifting a lot of stuff up. There are a lot of roaches and a lot of Lings here, but the work supply is 54 to 68, and there is the Colossus that's basically going to say, actually, I have more than enough to defend against this. The pylons have been taken down, so, you know, a little bit of panic stations in terms of trying to get those units in, but great force fields means that only 3 Lings get in. That's not actually a big deal right now. He just needs to focus on killing as much of the rest as possible, and this Colossus has just been instrumental in the defense here for our Protoss player. Ooh, you don't want to accidentally be giving away workers to this, but I don't think they managed to kill any. And these 3 Lings, wow, they're actually going to get out. I'm impressed. Alright, so they live to tell the tale. We have a counterattack, though, with... Wow, he's actually just going straight up and trying to hit the hive here, but it looks like with the workers attacking, the Phoenix is coming in to try and pick off the queens as well. So, constantly trying to do a lot of damage. The layer morphing into the hive is about halfway done, and it's also at about 50% health right now, but it looks like it's going to be able to survive. The warp prism is still there inside the main base. It's on about 1/4 health, so I think another warp bit of Zealots at some opportune moment means that he might actually be able to snipe off this layer slash hive. He needs to be a little careful about that. And the War Prism is going to go and harass the 4th base location instead. There are no Spore Crawlers up here. There's a Spore and Spine currently in production, but they're not actually doing anything yet. Pick off a couple more workers here. 2 workers go down, and we need to see a couple of Warpins. There are 2 Zealots just to harass. The Spore Crawler is complete. The War Prism needs to get out of there, and he needs to get out of there right now if he wants it to survive. It's going to be so useful later on in the game. He might be able to pick off the hive, but he doesn't fold it up in time, and unfortunately the War Prism is going to go down now for Eiki. SortOf has survived as far as the harassment is concerned early game, and he's going to be able to get on with things now. He's up to 79 workers versus 62. And look at his creep spread. It's beyond the middle of the map now. He's doing a pretty good job of laying that down. Check out those creep troopers up to this little pillar here already, so doing a great job. 9 workers killed in total. but that doesn't matter. Just constantly droning up 84 drones. We're entering ret territory here, and we're actually moving into the Ultralisk Cavern now. So the Hive, not quite the healthiest looking building I've ever seen, but there are a bunch of spine crawlers around it now, and it is slowly regenerating those hit points. And once we get the Ultralisk Cavern and the Greater Spire that we can see here in the natural expansion, it's going to give SortOf the complete list of tech that he's going to require to play the rest of this game. So he's just happily turtling up on 4 bases, keeping all of his options open. What an excellent fungal growth on those Phoenixes. They do not have long for this world now. And these Queens are going to pop in and say, yeah, what are you going to do about that, mate? Not an awful lot. Stacked on top of each other, 4 Phoenixes go down. An excellent bit of play there from SortOf. And now Eiki has to be going, well, hang on a second. My opponent's been able to do everything he wants to do, so I'm going to have to come up with this massive death ball. Conveniently, that's exactly what he plans to do. Take a look at this. We have Colossi out in the field, we have a lot of Void Rays, and we have High Templars with Storm almost complete as well. +2 attack is about to finish, so the amount of DPS in this army is huge. But it is a one-time amount of DPS. If this army dies, it's so difficult to remax. Whereas if this army dies, he can remax it whatever, don't even worry about it. So this is really the kind of Zerg versus Protoss dilemma that we see. This Queen, very brave. So brave that out of respect we have a force field, but it doesn't look like she's going to last to do much damage at all. And a lot of Lings, Roaches, and Infestors coming out here. Look at the amount of creep spread. We're actually reaching the 3rd base location with these creep tumors. I mean, as far as Eiki's vision is concerned, you can take a look and you can see the creep slowly starting to spread inside his base. That can't be a good feeling for him at all. This pylon is getting gooped up now. We can see the gateway slowly getting covered. And he's going, hang on a second, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this. And we have some Roaches moving across to try and come into the base via the back rocks as well. A very uncomfortable position for Eiki to be in game number 1. A couple of those creep tumors will get picked off by the cannon. Does he see the rest of them? No, they're just outside of the cannon range. And a very frustrating position to be in. And here we go. The Roaches coming in via the back door as well. Going to try and take this debris out. Does Eiki see this? Oh, he does now if he didn't before. And we have a big engagement over here. The Zerglings trying to cancel this 4th base location. Eiki now moving down with his forces. It doesn't look like there was a cancel on the Nexus, but the Roaches almost killing off this debris here. And we have an attack coming in from potentially both sides. Here come the Roaches, killing off that cannon straight away. Can he get the Forge? The Forge researching +3 could be a pretty decent pick-off here. He's not actually going for it. He seems like he's going straight into the main. The rest of the army going to try and take apart the natural expansion. A whole bunch of infested Terrans from the Infestors. Not doing too much damage, admittedly, because the aggro from the cannon is pulling them in all sorts of places. Roaches in the main, Roaches in the natural. The army's just stood here for Eiki. He's not actually defending any of these locations. He's waiting for the 4th to come under attack. But no attack is forthcoming. He sends the Void Rays to kill off the Roaches there. Great. But in the meantime, these Roaches have killed off a decent amount. 31, now 32 workers have been killed off here. And I think we needed to be a lot more active with the Protoss army here. Eiki is seriously struggling. We have a War Prism with a counterattack trying to kill off the Hive. But you know what? There's a Greater Spire already down. There's an Ultralisk Cavern already down. This Hive isn't even going to go. But even if it did, we have all the tech buildings we already need. And 35 workers down. It says that Eiki is in a terrible position now after being unable to defend against those multi-pronged attacks. He's down to 33 workers versus 76. And that's a very frustrating situation to be in. He is making Tempests. He's got the Fleet Beacon and the 2nd Stargate out. But I don't think his income is there right now. I mean, look at this. SortOf basically owns the map. We have more units coming in via the back door. Just a bunch of Zerglings to kill off as many workers as he can. We're down to sub 30 workers for the Protoss right now. And, well, this Nexus potentially going down now as well. We have Broodlords on the way. Yes, Tempests are around, but we don't have the economy to produce more than 1 or 2 of them right now. SortOf is absolutely decimating Eiki in the late game, in game number 1 on Deadwing. We're at the 20-minute mark. The supplies are 200 versus 155, but look at how much of this mini-map is Zerg and how much of it is Protoss. There is this massive death ball. Never, ever discount the Protoss death ball. We've learnt this on many occasions, and Eiki can still deliver a massive sucker punch that knocks SortOf out. How likely is that? I'm going to be honest and say it's not very likely because he doesn't have the economy to back it up. We're down to 19 probes right now, guys. These Zerglings have been so good. Here comes a massive engagement. We need to see a situation where a trade happens in favor of the Protoss for him to have any chance of coming back here. It's 120 versus 147 supply. So far, Eike's doing a great job. Look at how sick this army is right now. But these Spore Crawlers, they're constantly target firing these Void Rays. He needs to not lose any of them and slowly push out across the map. Try and kill off this static defense, and now really deliver a knockout blow. He's on 19 probes. This attack, guys, basically has to work or Eiki dies. There's no two ways about it. Let's see if it can be possible. These Lings trying to surround the Archons. The splash damage from them, though, doing an incredible amount of damage. And this Death Ball army looks pretty scary. 4 Colossi, Void Rays, Immortals, Archons. This is the ultimate Protoss army right here, as far as he's concerned. Maybe a little bit light on the force fields, but will he need them right now? And we have SortOf rushing in. The Zerglings get decimated very, very quickly indeed. But the Immortals and the Void Rays, they're trying to take on the Ultralists. They're doing a great job so far. Eiki down to 100 supply, and SortOf down to 120. He's doing a great job. Is it going to be enough to break through? There are still several Ultralists starting to whittle down the army. Oh, it's so close. The Immortals are still alive. 2 out of 4 of the Colossi are still alive. And SortOf goes down to 120 supply. He's got a bank, though, of 2,000 minerals. If he kills off this army, his worker counts alone could propel him into a superior position later on in this game, but he has to kill off this army first. This is such a dangerous position for the Zerg player to be in. Here come the Mutalist transition, and where are the units that can attack air? We've basically got the Tempests, and that's it. So these Mutas could spell the end of the game. It will indeed. GG! And after a very dangerous counterattack, SortOf, with the Muta transition, forces the GG out of Eiki, and he wins game number 1 of this best of 5.